If you've been considering making a move in the Lower Mainland, there's no doubt that you've likely considered the South Surrey neighborhood. And you're in luck because today's video, well, we're covering everything you need to know about living in South Surrey. We're going to cover all of the good, all of the amazing reasons why living in this community is just absolutely awesome. The community that me and my family call home. But I don't want it to be just another one of those fluffy videos, so we want to make sure that we're also going to cover some of the reasons why you might not want to live here, some of the things that you might not get to hear, and I want you to hear them directly from a local so you can make the best decision on where it is that you might want to call home. So you're going to want to make sure you check out the entire video. I guarantee you're going to learn some things that you didn't know, but I'm also going to encourage you to hang around to the end because we've got a special offer for watchers of our YouTube channel where we're giving away access to our BC Homebuyers program, usually a $350 value. Well, we're giving away for completely free. So hang around to the end, learn about how you can get access to that, and you're going to learn all about the pros and the cons of living in South Surrey, British Columbia.
Hey, it's Darren here. If you're thinking of moving to Surrey, White Rock, or any of the surrounding suburbs, subscribe below so you can be the first to learn about the market and the areas. And like so many others, we've helped in the process of buying or selling a home. If you need help in the process, whether it's today or 6 months from now, use the link in the description to book a time to speak with me. We'll help you make sure that your move is the absolute best that it could ever be. Definitely one of the first pros on our list is just how quiet the area of South Surrey and White Rock really is. Because of its location, tucked quite a ways away from the majority other areas of the Lower Mainland, and of course surrounded by the ocean on the south and west sides. You don't get a lot of drive-through traffic in this area, which makes it a really great kind of quiet family community. Now, there's residents that will immediately disagree with this because of course the area, like every other area, is getting busier. And this is completely true in major corridors like 152nd Street or 24th Avenue, or areas where like the Grandview outdoor shopping area has gone up, things like that. But generally speaking, you can find nice quiet communities all over South Surrey, White Rock. So if you like peace and quiet, that is definitely something you're going to absolutely love about the area. We've got to talk a little bit about safety and crime in Surrey. And in fact, South Surrey is on the con side of this list because, well, it really deserves to be. Now, Surrey has an unfair reputation, one that has been following it for years and years and years. And if you're curious about learning a little bit more about what that reputation might be and whether it's actually true or not, you're going to want to check out the video we just did on this here, where we do a deep dive into just stats. There's no opinions. And in fact, we actually compare how the city of Surrey compares to Vancouver. But that's not for the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to talk about how South Surrey compares to many other communities in the Lower Mainland. Well, for the purpose of this, let's just compare it to the rest of Surrey as a whole. After you've seen that video, this will make a lot more sense, but I'm going to use a website called Area Vibes to help kind of sum up just how South Surrey really outperforms even other areas of Surrey, and by quite a bit. Jumping onto the Area Vibes website and just simply clicking on their article, Is Surrey Safe?, which gets their data from Statistics Canada about the crime that is happening in various communities, you're going to see that the sub-neighborhoods in Surrey are listed here. There's actually a top 20 that are included. And out of that top 20, well, 11 of those communities belong to South Surrey. Now, think of how big the municipality of Surrey is, and it's absolutely incredible that 11 of the top 20 best, most safe areas in all of Surrey, well, they belong to this area right here, South Surrey. Yet another reason why you might consider to call this place home.
Next, we definitely have to talk about the weather in South Surrey. And if you've been considering moving to the Lower Mainland, if you're not from this area, I'm sure that weather has come across your plate. It is traditionally rainy in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, but I've got some really good news for you because South Surrey doesn't quite experience the same weather patterns that many other of the Lower Mainland municipalities do. So I'm going to use some statistics from the neighboring city of White Rock. White Rock, if you don't know, is kind of hugged by South Surrey, and they've got their own data, whereas South Surrey, being just a part of Surrey, doesn't really have their own unique data set. So here's what you need to know. White Rock is known for receiving more sunshine than most other Metro Vancouver communities, primarily due to its southerly location away from the North Shore Mountains. This means that it receives less precipitation than other areas of the Lower Mainland, about 11 days per year in fact, better than some of the other communities north of the Fraser River. Areas closer to the water tend to receive less precipitation, and that's exactly what the community of South Surrey offers. You're also going to get much more mild temperatures in not only the summer and the winter because you're close to the ocean. In the December to January months, you have a low of about 2 degrees Celsius and a high of about 7 degrees Celsius. Now compare that to other areas of Canada where that is incredibly warm in the winter. You're not dealing with super crazy winter conditions. And in the summer, the story remains true as well. In the months of July and August, as an example, you have an average daily low of about 13 degrees and an average daily high of an incredibly comfortable 22 degrees Celsius. This makes the weather in South Surrey and living here just that much better.
Up next is just how amazing living in South Surrey is for anyone with a family. Whether that's a young family or somebody that maybe has older teenagers at home, you cannot go wrong by calling the neighborhoods of South Surrey home. And there's tons of reasons why for this. You just have tons of outdoor stuff to explore. So you're for an outdoor person, well, you can take access or make use of the only beach in all of Surrey, which is Crescent Beach, or go down to White Rock Beach in neighboring White Rock. You've also got ample forests and parks to explore, like some of the bigger players such as Sunnyside Urban Acres Forest or Crescent Park. Kids sports are also overly abundant here, with hockey, baseball, and soccer somewhat dominating the kids sports scene. But that doesn't mean you can't get access to others as well. One thing you'll definitely appreciate if you do have a family is one of the greatest outdoor sports areas in all of the Lower Mainland being in South Surrey Athletic Park, where you have just about everything for everybody and every sport that you could ever want to play in well manicured, taken care of facilities. There's tons of activities going on, far too many to list for this video as well, but let's talk a little bit about education as well, because you want to make sure that if you're going to move here and you do have a family, that you've got access to some of the best schools that are available, and you're going to find that in spades in South Surrey as well. According to the Fraser Institute, basically a local BC think tank, they rate the schools in British Columbia and Surrey, of course, on their website. So I'm going to give you some ideas about their 2022 school rankings and how South Surrey stands out in comparison to other areas of the Lower Mainland or just in Surrey generally. South Surrey elementary schools occupy 8 of the top 30 spots in the entire municipality of Surrey. Think about that for a moment. Almost 1/3 of the spots on that list, just in the top 30, are occupied by South Surrey. So you've already got a really good shot at your kids going to an excellent elementary school. One of the top on the entire list for the entire province being Bay Ridge Elementary, a public school, not a private school. The private schools tend to do a little bit better because they can choose the students that they get. Worth mentioning that the top private school in the entire community is also located in South Surrey. But let's talk about secondary schools as well. If you have some kids at home that are a little bit older, Semiahmoo Secondary is going to top the public school list of all 24 secondary schools in all of Surrey. Worth mentioning that this list does not include any schools built after 2022. Coming up next for our list of pros about living or moving to South Surrey is the shopping. And shopping wasn't something that used to be something this community was really known for, but that has really changed over the years. Just like many communities, you've got major hubs all over the place. You've got Grandview Corners, you've got the shops at Morgan Crossing, Peninsula Village, South Point, you've got Semiahmoo Town Center. The list goes on and on and on. So you've got all these little community hubs all over the place. And one of the most premier areas of all of the Lower Mainland to do shopping, and that is the shops at Morgan Crossing, or generally the Grandview Corners area. The shops at Morgan Crossing and Grandview Corners offer some of the best shopping experiences in South Surrey, combining a vibrant mix of trendy boutiques, major retailers, and local favorites. Whether you're searching for the latest fashion, home essentials, or a great place to dine, these two distinct shopping districts provide you everything you need in a convenient and welcoming atmosphere. With over 130 stores between the both of them, you're sure to find something for everyone. You'll also find popular retailers like Winners, H&M, and Best Buy, alongside big box stores such as Walmart, Superstore, and Home Depot. With restaurant options like White Spot, Ignite Pizzeria, and Earl's Kitchen and Bar, these shopping hubs are perfect for a full day of retail therapy and dining. The first on our list of cons is, well, South Surrey is pretty much a bedroom community, very residential, with kind of bigger commercial areas scattered throughout the community. But with that being said, for many areas of South Surrey, it's not overly walkable, meaning you're going to be heavily reliant on your car most of the time to get your basic day-to-day goods. Now, needing your car or the walkability of whatever neighborhood you decide on, we're going to touch on that in a little bit of a different light later on in our list of cons, but for now, let's just move on to the next one.
Next on our list, you might notice that I'm walking through some pretty residential neighborhoods in South Surrey. And that is certainly one of the considerations if you're thinking moving here, and definitely a con that you're going to experience if you are moving to South Surrey, and that's just the general price of real estate. Real estate is not cheap out here. It never really has been. I mean, with its location near White Rock Beach, you've got Crescent Beach, and it's just such a great area, highly sought after, one of the crown jewels in all of the Lower Mainland. This is an area that you kind of have to pay to play. Let me explain that a little bit, and I'm going to help bring that in perspective by giving you an example of how this area compares to the remainder of Surrey as a whole, and maybe we'll pick one of the neighboring communities like Langley to put it into a little bit of a perspective of what it'll cost you to live here. Detached homes in South Surrey White Rock are approximately 19.4% more expensive than both the city of Surrey combined and the area of Langley. Townhomes in South Surrey White Rock are approximately 11.1% more expensive than those in the city of Surrey combined and 9.6% more expensive than those in Langley. Lastly, condominiums in South Surrey White Rock are approximately 15.2% more expensive than those in the city of Surrey combined and 2% more expensive than those in Langley. Now, 2% for condominiums in terms of South Surrey versus Langley, well, the reason for that likely is there is a ton of new construction going on in Langley, so the average or benchmark price of many of the units in that area has gone up because new construction, well, it's expensive. But the takeaway from this is living in South Surrey White Rock, it's just going to be more expensive than other areas of the Lower Mainland.
Up next on our list of cons is one thing that personally drives me crazy about living in this area, and that's just generally the access, or really how far away you are from everything else in the Lower Mainland. I mean, you're not always going to be living and needing absolutely everything directly in your community. And while South Surrey offers a lot, and they offer a lot more than what they used to, you're still going to have to travel, whether that's for work or for play. Living in South Surrey can be a drawback for those who need quick access to the rest of the Lower Mainland, as it requires crossing major bridges or tunnels to reach Vancouver or the Tri-Cities areas. Traffic bottlenecks at the George Massey Tunnel and Alex Fraser or Portman bridges can cause significant delays, particularly during rush hour. Public transportation options are pretty limited out here, leaving many residents reliant on cars, which further amplifies the challenge of navigating these busy routes. For those who prefer a more central location, South Surrey's distance and reliance on these congested crossings can make daily commutes to the city a pretty frustrating experience. The next con is very dear to my heart because being a real estate professional, servicing this community since 2007, I need my cell phone. And the crazy thing about living in South Surrey is just really how terrible the cell service is almost everywhere in the community. Whether you're driving down 24th Avenue or you're down in the Ocean Park area, or it doesn't even seem to matter where you might be, your cell service is probably not going to be great. In fact, even if you're down at White Rock Beach, which isn't technically South Surrey, but kind of part of the greater community, you're oftentimes going to find your phone starting to roam, picking up US towers, probably because they're more conveniently placed and have better service than the services that you pay for your cell phone living in Canada. This means if you really rely on your cell phone, well, many residents that live in South Surrey, they actually have home phone lines. I know, something you probably haven't heard in a long time, but you kind of need them, especially if you have kids. And in lieu of not having a home phone line, you might have to invest in your own property for something like a cell phone booster just to get service for your cell phone in your very own home.
So there you have it. Now you've got the full scoop on everything you need to know about living in South Surrey, British Columbia. Now, I've got a few questions for you. If you're a local watching this video, did I nail it? Did I get all of the pros and the cons correct? Or is there anything else that you can share with our audience that you want them to know? Well, leave it down in the comments section below. And if you're someone watching this video from maybe out of town or doesn't call the area of South Surrey home, let our community know what questions you have in the comments, and we will be sure to get back to you to make sure you know everything you need to know before you make any decisions about maybe calling this your next home as well. Hey, look, I promised you at the start of the video as well that I was going to give you access to something that was going to be incredible, something that was going to be a game changer, and that is our BC Home Buyers course. 3 hours of video content, PDF downloads, and questionnaires, all designed to help you buy a home anywhere in the province of British Columbia like a pro, avoid all the pitfalls that sting so many home buyers out there. Well, for a very limited time, we are giving away up to 20 spots for absolutely free to this program. So check the description of this video below to get access right now for a limited time. And once those 20 spots are gone, well, they're gone. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about the area of South Surrey. Don't forget to subscribe for more great content on everything to do with the area of White Rock, BC, Surrey, BC, or anything going on in the crazy world of British Columbia real estate. And there's always a lot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.